I wasn't anti-gun, but I wasn't a big gun guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I shot him, and like the more I've looked in the research and the things that have happened, the reality is guns have always been around. Whatever's going on now is the result of something much bigger and much more important. It might be just the fact that we're all addicted to social media.
Yeah.
We're all addicted to being liked, wanted, desired. Like we all feel insecure. Everything you see makes you feel inferior. It's
Everyone
like you have to have this nice
slighted
thing.
insulted.
Yeah, it reminds me of like Brad Pitt, not to bring in movies in Fight Club though, where he just goes, "We're finding out we're all not going to be millionaires and rock stars and movie stars, and we're getting pretty fucking pissed off about it."
Right.
And that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And I the irony of what he said is not lost on me that he's Brad Pitt, but it was a book. And I do think that there's just something bigger now. There's a disconnect with empathy for other human beings.
Yes.
And I think it's such a greater thing than we're realizing. Like, it's not just weapons.
I think people have slipped from, and there were plenty of murders going on before any social media, but there's a different take on it now. I think you're absolutely right. People don't look at, or not everybody, but some of these maniacs don't look at people as people anymore. They're just screen names or avatars or whatever, and they're just people that have insulted you and shit on you or whatever. You're jealous of them. They're the ones getting all the views and hits on a video. You can't even get subscribers, things like that. And instead of, because it's impossible to find out who they are, you could just go out and shoot people.
Exactly.
And, you've squared up your business.
Yeah, you're even, Steven, with the world.
Right.
And these people have done nothing to you. I mean, we're losing a connection with, like, family, friends. Like, even when I walk around an airport, I'm looking down, and it's like everybody's looking at their phone. There's no real connect with human
there's
beings.
not a connection with real people.
Yeah, and the more and more we disconnect from that, the more and more we're going to stop looking at each other like people.
Yeah.
And I think that, I don't know, I think that's dangerous. Then you have all the drug companies dumping shit into our heads at the same time.
Yeah.
We don't know shit about the human brain, let's be honest.
No, it's one of the greatest mysteries of the human body.
Yep.
You know what else I was
my
thinking?
dick's so big. What?
My dick. You know what I was thinking of the weekend, too? This is because a lot of stories about more invasive electronics in your houses and whatnot, and listening. There's a story that's just preposterous that Siri is listening to you have sex. This is a known thing from employees. Siri listens to people make drug deals. They listen because the trigger for Siri, I've had it happen plenty of times where Siri all of a sudden goes, "What? What do you want? Do you want anything?" I'm like, "Shut the fuck up. Why are you even on?"
Oh, certainly not in my house.
Yeah. But that's what they're saying. But there's such an invasion of your privacy going on. And we've talked about this on this show on the Opie and Anthony show. I was talking about this shit. But I think there's something more nefarious going on. And I might sound like a nut, like Jesse Ventura, when he would go, mind control. It's all about mind control. Everything you're doing on a daily basis is absorbed by this thing. And then it's sent out to various companies, entities, government agencies, everything. Millions of little pieces of you, of information about yourself, what you think, what you do, who you hang out with, your family, your friends, what you buy, what you use, your sexual proclivities, everything is being absorbed by this and sent out. Once you get a profile like that built up of so many individuals, you can then target them with ideology that can literally change the mindset of large groups of people or individuals. But to say you're immune to that, you can't. You can't say you're immune to it, 'cause
sell
there's
you
groups of
the
people.
things you long to have that makes you feel inferior for not being able to afford them. That's another trigger.
There's a capability out there. I'm not saying if it's being done yet or if it's being done at a level that I do believe it is, but it's an ability to put ideas into people's heads based on someone else's agenda, to make people resent others. Like you say, you can't afford this, you can't, let's keep showing him shit he can't afford. He gets angry. You're controlling someone's mind. It is crazy to think on terms of Jesse Ventura because we never get it right. We think that the government or some entity is trying to control the people, but we go, what are they going to do? You always picture this big satellite dish going,
Right.
woo, 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 and people just go, I must do this. But again, like we never thought we'd have a tracking system for us individually. We just voluntarily leave the house with one every day. We couldn't leave without it. They figured out a way past us being suspicious of it. Same thing with this mind control aspect of social media and everything else we do online. It's a way to control people's emotions, thoughts. Look at and you see it especially with the liberals. We got another clip here of, what's her name? Fucking that mental patient, Alyssa Milano. Alyssa Milano crying her eyes out over a video that she sees of a child and a mother at the border.
Hope her shirt's all wet with her tears.
I think it's bullshit. I think she's acting.
Of course.
But this doesn't mean that it doesn't happen, that people aren't emotionally being affected. And if you keep pounding them with this, you are changing their emotional health.
Well, because I hate saying they because I can't answer.
I know.
Who
I
it
don't
is.
know who it is either.
No, but it's like they do want you to have. They want you to buy those things on credit because that is a form of bank control.
Oh, yeah.
It just is what it is. They want you to spend your credit. They want to own you. They want you to have a mortgage. They want you to,
You need to be beholden to somebody. You can't be free.
That's being and then also if they're trying to push forward an ideology, especially one that divides us, which is working so fucking well.
Oh, whoever
right
thought
now.
this one up.
That's exactly what they're doing, and it's in your face all day.
Yeah.
How could you not be swayed? Porn changes your brain chemistry. You're going to tell me that doesn't?
Yeah. And I believe when people have access to a device that, like you said, this is all you see all day.
All day.
People just fucking staring into the device. The device is putting out information to you that might make you think a certain way, feel a certain way. Where do you think that's coming from? What do you think it's coming from? No, I searched for something, so it's me that is looking at something I wanted to look at. Well, where did that come from? We'll put that there. It could be a completely biased ideology of what you wanted to look at, and it is absolutely controlling people's thoughts and emotions.
And absolutely. And the fake reality of people's best lives. That's what you see online for the most part. If you go to Facebook or Instagram or anything, you're not going to put up like, hey, my...
You don't have the black eye. Yeah. Dinner was late.
Yeah, you're not putting your hand in an ice bucket.
You have the family with the kids and everything. It's perfect. And then you look at it and think, oh, my life sucks.
I'm shit. I've achieved nothing like this person.
Yeah.
Who just put up a staged Christmas card photo, which you don't even realize the whole time the dad's going, would you just stand up fucking straight?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Shut up, Beth. Shut up.
The kid's back of the head.
Yeah, just enough where he can't be arrested, but he makes a point.
Yeah.
No one's happy in that photo. It's all pretend.
It's all pretend. And people are looking at it and seeing their own inadequacies and how they didn't get somewhere in life that they wanted to. And then just like I was saying, that blatant, purposefully dumped on you shit from whatever the entity is that wants to control. I believe we're in the experimental phase of it right now. I think this is testing. Like there's an entity, whatever it is, saying, can we actually get a large group of people to think a certain way and to feel a certain way based on nothing but what we've collected from them, and then our ability to influence their little idiosyncrasies and their mindset and their weaknesses and things like that. And then
to perpetuate victim culture.
Yeah, that's been a huge part
and
of
that's
it.
really what it is, because
Or a
everything
victim.
you just
Everyone's
named can be, okay, I don't have this, so I'm a victim. I'm a victim because I'm this, I was born like this.
Yeah.
I'm a victim because of this. All of that, which then goes against other people, then other people go, it's your fault that I'm this, your fault that I'm
the blame.
And that's, I guarantee you the guy who shot all those people, ironically, felt like the victim.
Yeah. And who knows, like I said, an experiment going on, something that's being looked into. But the fact that I don't understand why more people don't look into the fact that we are all carrying these things. All of us every day have our fucking nose stuck to it. And not to think that you're not being influenced by it. I remember watching television for, I'd go to school, not watching TV there. I'd get home after school. You watch a little TV. You do your homework, so you can't watch TV while you're doing your homework. Then you have dinner, and then watch a little more TV, and then you're in bed. So at most 5 hours of television was insanely a huge amount of TV for that time. And there were all kinds of stories about how that was influencing people's mind and thoughts and how they saw things and the idiot box, it's making you stupid, it's making you smart, but it's influencing somehow people. How do you not think staring into something for probably 20 fucking hours a day isn't doing the same thing, only even worse? There's more. It's more targeted. It's more specific.
Prove it to yourself. I mean, if people don't believe it, put on, I don't know, like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or House of a Thousand Corpses, a love story. And then after that, the next day, watch the documentary on HBO about Mr. Rogers and tell me the two ways you feel when those end.
Right.
They're designed to make you feel something. That's what film does. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
So why would something of that exact same entertainment nature not sway your thoughts? It's supposed to.
It's supposed to. And it can be targeted. I don't think people realize how it's targeting us. And it's not just advertising. Advertising sounds so painless. Like, oh, they collect this information so they could try to sell me shit. I'm looking at commercials. Fuck, look, I said Jeep Wrangler and I get Jeep Wrangler ads. Oh, you.
Yeah.
They're profiling. It's building up a profile of everybody to then influence you for whatever the fuck. Oh, you like a Jeep Wrangler? There are certain people that like Jeep Wranglers.
Yep.
There are.
Yeah.
And that is just one little part of the whole thing. I think it's a lot more evil than people are saying.
I do too, and it sounds crazy, but it
does.
Also, a bunch of dudes in sunglasses just walked in here in suits. But
Yeah.
I do think it's...
Hey, they're shooting the place up.
That's weird. They're all wearing "I hate garlic."
The garlic festival.
It is something, though. There is an entity, because how in such a short amount of time have we become so divided?
Yeah.
And then when I go out and perform and meet people, we're not that divided.
Right.
But there's this ideology that's pushing us. And, I mean, when people do decide to take that leap, whatever side they're on, it gets violent and crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really what I'm scared about for the future, is it just becomes, I don't know, it's becoming a nightmare to some degree.
It's hard to base it on the past, too, because that was always an easy thing to do, because we've been divided as a nation before. You look at the 60s during the Vietnam War, we were very divided, the early 70s, things like that. Even during World War II, Korea, wars usually divide people. But then there are cultural divides that we had during the civil rights issues that this country has had over the years. And the 80s was another time where we were divided over the Reagan-type conservative and the liberals. But it's hard to base where we're going on the past because of these fucking innovations that we have now that are like we never imagined. We couldn't possibly imagine that a few years ago. And it's been such a slow build. It started as a phone. Funny enough, we still call it a phone. This isn't a fucking phone. But phones are harmless. Again, it's an easy way. Why wouldn't you carry a phone with you? Jeez, you might have an emergency. You can make a call. How many people use this as a phone on a daily basis? I'd say not that many. Not as many as use it for fucking just looking at shit and being influenced. So... But they keep calling it a phone.
Pick it up so a robot can try to scam you out of money. That's when you use your phone.
And it's one of those things where it went quickly, but slowly enough where we all of a sudden didn't just have this thing. It grew. It progressed from literally a phone to a way that we interpret what's going on in the world.
Well, and think of
Nuts.
I used to keep my phone in my car, and this was like in college, like early in comedy and stuff. Like, why would I need it? Like,
Right,
if it was
why
an
would you need it?
emergency or I'd call somebody,
Yeah.
people would get. I remember the first time I got a text. I was in college, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I had never even gotten one. It was my friend
is
Adam,
this?
and I called him, and I was like, "Did you just send me like a letter?"
Yeah.
I was so fucking unaware of what it was.
A letter.
And I thought it was just dumb. I was like, "Why would anybody do this?" Like,
Yeah.
this just seems stupid.
Call me later.
Yeah, now it's
fucking-
the opposite, though. It's like, why are you calling me?
Yeah.
Why do I have to be social with you?
Remember when people tried for the longest time to make it a faux pas to look at your phone during dinner?
Oh, yeah.
Remember when they tried getting away with that shit? That went right out the fucking window.
Go to any restaurant.
Yeah. Everyone is just fucking in between everything. Oh, I'll have the filet mignon. I'll have a side of mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
I'll start with the crab meat cocktail. All right, what do you want, hon?
Yeah, exactly.
And you fucking, that's,
Yeah.
Are you insane? You don't think that's a problem?
It's a huge problem.
It's
You're
a
not
huge
You're
problem.
married, not even looking at your wife. You're just like, uh-huh.
No.
I want to see if somebody likes me. I'm not going to
Then
talk.
your girl goes,
I'm not talking to the person who loves me.
Yeah,
I need to
I wanna
make
see
sure
who
that a
likes me.
stranger.
I got to make sure a stranger liked what I wrote. The one that loves me is. But then the girl will also, like, the
Same
dinner
thing.
comments like,
Same
oh,
thing.
this looks great. Oh, hold on. Take
Yep.
a picture. I got to send a picture of my dinner to somebody. This is a problem.
I'm adopting a kid in Africa. He might want to see this. He sends me pictures of him starving.
Of him starving and flies going around his head.
Yeah, and I send him 10 cents a day and pictures of the meals I have in the big city.
He loves it.